Hello, I'm Michael Wilson and welcome to the programme. The term business agility may sound like jargon created by management consultants to help sell new services, but the need for organisations to react quickly and efficiently to changes in the business environment is more pertinent today than ever. And I'm delighted to be joined by Dave Pritchard, Fujitsu's new business director, and Ian Bradbury, a desktop solutions specialist at Fujitsu, as we seek to understand more about how businesses can respond even more effectively to the changes we're seeing all around us. So welcome to you both. Dave, first of all, why is business agility more important today than ever before?
We've just come through a major recession in the UK where people have seen quite large downsizing of some of their companies. That means reduction of headcount. That means reduction of IT assets that sit on the desk as well, which is quite difficult to manage. As we come out of that recession, we're seeing a growth of these companies. We're seeing a growth in what they need on the desktop. And therefore, they've got a complete workforce uncertainty. They're not quite sure what they're planning for. We're planning for a next recession. We're planning for a next growth. The agility is really needed to build in that to understand which way that can go and manage that in a flexible manner. That would bring in things, whole new ways of working. So you can do things like start working in cafe style, where you can get people into small groups, work closely together, maybe more home working. So the working styles are changing at the same time.
Ian, what are the implications of all this then for IT departments?
From a desktop perspective, there's a real challenge in that traditionally a desktop has been built for a user. It sits on a desk, they come in 9 to 5, they work, or 9 till 6, they work in that environment and they go home. But in the new world where they come in, they may not have a desk, they may have a group of hot desks, they may only come in for half a day because they're working for half a day at home so that they can manage the childcare situation. Or even, they may be even using temporary workforce, so people are coming in for short periods of time and then leaving. The traditional desktop, which is built for a user, doesn't fit that model. It's difficult to change, it's costly, and it just doesn't provide the level of agility that's needed in the new world that we're talking about.
So what is the potential of virtualization and as-a-service offerings to address the issues?
Well, I talked about transforming the desktop, and virtualization is very much top of the agenda to create that flexible environment that we're talking about here. And in fact, the challenge around finding the resources is very much because in the marketplace at the moment, there are very few capable resources out there that understand the technology, that can refer back to big case studies and references and so on. Virtualization gives the ability for any user to be able to turn up at any PC, even perhaps their home PC, and carry out their work as if they were working at a fixed desk with a fixed PC. And the projects that we're involved in at the moment are very much delivering that kind of solution to clients. Desktop as a service as a concept is very much around delivering desktop for a period of time. So it's a utility type offering. So if you have a workforce that is flexing frequently, or you're taking on temporary staff, or even perhaps in a divestment or acquisition where you want to start the service very quickly or cut the service off very quickly, desktop as a service enables you to be able to operate in that kind of model. And it's underpinned by virtualization, desktop virtualization.
So this is a huge change of environment. When you talk to customers, what are their big concerns about all this?
So my customers are very much organisations that support the IT of those workforce environments. Their challenges, I guess, are around having the resources available to transform the desktop into a new flexible way of working. They don't have the people that have the knowledge and experience to do the types of projects that are needed to transform that environment.
So Dave, from a business perspective, what would be the benefits of this kind of change to an organisation?
Interestingly enough, a lot of the big benefits are actually outside of the desktop. The desktop is turning into a blocker for some of the big things that people are trying to do, like investments and divestments, or like changing the way they handle their properties or reducing their properties. People are trying to move these forward at great pace and then discovering they can't actually move their desktops, as Ian actually explained with some of the examples earlier. So this is coming as a major part of the business case. Of course, there are savings that can be had in the desktop as well, and we're seeing things like 40% saving in that desktop environment, which is pretty significant as well.
Would it be fair to say that what you're suggesting is that this should be moved right up the business agenda, not just in the IT department?
Absolutely, because I think where we are at the moment is seen as a desktop issue, but it's actually blocking much, much bigger things. So we're seeing it block these property consolidations, not directly related to a desktop environment itself. So the business case is much, much bigger.
So what are the next steps of an organisation watching this?
I think the next steps are to try and put that business case in place, and we can help do that by not only looking at what is a desktop business case, but other examples we've used with very large customers that show the advantages outside of the desktop to help them put that number together. Then we can move that through to our industrialized process where we can actually put a safe pair of hands around rolling out that whole environment. We've done it for many other customers, so those are the next steps.
Dave, Ian, thanks so much indeed. Well, we're already seeing rapid changes in the business environment, and judging from the last 18 months, there are still some big shifts ahead. Clearly, there's a methodology that can deliver the true business agility through the right investments in the desktop estate. Now certainly seems like the time when your organisation should consider entering a brave new world of desktop services. Thank you for watching.